Welcome back to my channel, and in this video we're going to be opening up more illustration arts and SARs from Generation 9. So far we've already done 2 episodes. We got 29 out of 120 SARs and illustration arts from Generation 9. We add them to our binder collection. It's going to look really awesome when it's all done. So let's go ahead and get right into this and start opening up these singles. Before we get started, I want to have a shout out to the Pokemon of the video. We got Rattata up in there. I used to always call Rattata Rattatak. I don't know why, but here's a clip of Rattata from the old anime.
Perfect strike! This game is over!
Alright, let's get right into this opening. I saw that we have several cards from this opening that are over $50, so I'm excited to see what we have to add to our collection for this video. The first card we got here is from Rapid Spin Gaming, and this one is from Georgia. And here from Georgia we have 2 cards to add to our collection. The first one is Fido. Fido is a little pastry dog. As you can see, it's looking in the mirror. You can see its reflection at all the treats, and it's interesting Pokemon. I don't know why they decided to come up with an animal that was made out of cake batter, but they did. They do have the evolution for this one, Doshbun. It just got released in a set crown, Stellar Crown. I will be adding that to the collection eventually, whether in this video or in upcoming Generation 9 opening. Alright, so next we do have our first SAR for this video. We got Iron Crown. This card is around $50 or $60 or so, and this is from the set Temporal Forces. Iron Crown is based off the Pokemon from Generation 5, I think it was, Cobalion. So Cobalion right here, this is the future form. It's looking all majestic and stuff with the yellow moon behind it, standing on one of them Japanese trees. But really, not too crazy of a card, which is probably why it sits around 50 or 60 bucks. Usually the real popular ones go to closer to 100. But really a nice one we get to add to our collection. And we have another big card here. This one is from David Dice in Rhode Island. All right, so let's see what we got. Wow, so David Deljus, however you pronounce his name, sent us some of the best cards from Generation 9. First off, we got Gimmighoul here. And to be honest, Gimmighoul was one of the more challenging tasks in the Scarlet and Violet era games. But overall, the card looks super awesome. Honestly, in my opinion, I really like playing with him in the game and evolving him to its evolution. As you can see, its final evolution expands here to the top, and you can see him later looking like a boss with a treasure chest full of money. And as you can see, we do have Golden Gago, the evolution right here. And an awesome thing about these 2 cards is when you put them next to each other, it makes a cool picture. So there you see Golden Gago, or Golden Go, however you pronounce it, with Gimmighoul behind bottom. It just looks awesome. So I think this card was around $5, and Golden Go was around $20. So really, if you put them together, it's really not too inexpensive a duo. And I really like this Pokemon in the video game. He was super fun. He floats around on a surfboard and catches money the entire freaking game. So. And he has some cool moves in the Pokemon game. Oh, right here. He knows Make It Rain. How is that not a cool ass move? Make it rain, just throwing coins. All right, spent a lot of time on Golden Go. Next we have another SAR, and this one is Iron Hand. And as you can see, this boss is just wrecking through some old buildings that you'd think unknowns would come from. It's the future form of Hariyama. So as you can see, he's got some big hands. I bet he could be really good boxing. Right now we got Tyson, Mike Tyson, Jake Paul about to fight. Iron Hands card, I think that was around 20 bucks. It used to be a lot more. They used to play it a lot in the actual TCG game. I don't think it's used as much. And then we got the most expensive card besides the Groudon, which took over this one from Paradox Rift. And this is Roaring Moon. As you can see, this is the ancient form of Salamence. So talk about an epic card. You just got Roaring Moon here, and it's probably using the move Calamity Storm. And it's got the old form of Jigglypuff on it. It's got Misdreavious's, was that an old form? It's got, actually, now that I say it, it's got Volcarona's old form. It's got the Mushroom's old form. It's probably got all the ancient Pokemon from Scarlet and Violet in it. But overall, really cool card. Honestly, the centering looks really good on this card. And you can get this card for around $50 or $60. So nothing crazy, but real neat one. We got one here from the New York City's best TCG in the Bronx. And again, we got more SARs from Generation 9, and this is why it's so fun to collect Generation 9. First off here, we got two cards. The first one is Koraidon. Koraidon is the legendary Pokemon, one of the main legendary Pokemon, which is typically, you know, the Scarlet. It's the Scarlet one. That turns into a motorcycle. So you get him at the beginning of the game, him or the purple one, and you get to ride around and fly on him the entire game, which is cool. But it's a really neat one. You can get this card for like $10. So I think anyone should get this, really. Even if you don't like Scarlet and Violet, I mean, this is basically the Zekrom and Reshiram of Generation 9. So everyone's gonna love this in the future. You do have the feature Pokemon Dedenne. Dedenne and Swablu are like the feature Pokemon for every card. I don't know why Pokemon doesn't switch it up more often. There's over 1,000 Pokemon, but they have to have Dedenne and Swablu on like every other card. And that's about it. So let's see what this other one is. Oh, we got Iron Boulder. We got this one. This one is one of the cheaper SARs from Temple Forces. This is the future version of Terrakion. Really not a lot of people like this one, but honestly the card still looks pretty cool. I think most of these SARs look really cool. Even if they're underrated, you know, why not pick them up? Because you gotta catch them all, right? So watch out, he might use Repulsor Axe on you. Again, we will sleeve these up before we put them in the binder. Now we got one from ENT Collectibles from Ohio. And we got two more cards here. The first one we got is Sprigatito. And Sprigatito is a little green cat just sleeping. So this is the first Pokemon for the Scarlet and Violet era. It's basically the equivalent to Bulbasaur. Overall, the design isn't too bad. I kind of like it. It's a pretty cute card, although you can't see its eyes, which kind of stinks. But it's hanging around here in the garden. So shout out to Sprigatito. And then we got another SAR. We got Spidops here. Spidops here hanging out in a tree. You can get this, actually you can get this SAR for like $3. It's like one of the cheapest ones out there. As you can see, you got a feature Pokemon. You got Scyther's ass, you know, and using a web to get Scyther maybe. This card does connect to its pre-evolution, which we already have, so I will show that when we put it in the binder. So shout out to Spidops here. All right, we got another one here, and this one is from What's Up Trading. It's from Texas, so. All right, so now we have basically Generations 9 equivalent to Dratini. This is the Frigibax. Frigibax is an Ice Dragon type Pokemon in the game. It might just be Ice, but eventually it evolves and it becomes a dragon. It becomes basically the equivalent of Dragonite. But it's a trippy looking card. I would not really like to look the evolution line for this Pokemon if I was high, probably, because it just looks kind of trippy. Kind of looks like the Candy Land, if you ever played the little board game. It just looks all loopy. It's jumped upside down. So really looking forward to seeing this and its evolution line all together once we have it in the binder. All right, we got two more cards. This one is from Epic Gaming and it's from Oregon. All right, now we got Tinkatuff. As you can see, Tinkatuff here is a little pink fairy types vary in steel type. So we already have the first evolution and the final evolution Tinkaton in the binder, so we will get to see the entire Tinkatop, Tinkatink, Tinkaton line in the binder. So should look really cool. Not too much going on with the card, but you can see a little fairy steel type just getting ready to hit some stuff. Last envelope here for this video, we got one from North Hollywood, California. All right, 2 more cards. The first one here is Earthworm. It uses the move Shoot Through because it's gonna shoot through the sand. Not too much really going on with this card. I think this card was like $4, which I think is probably more than what I would pay for most cases, although I still bought it because I'm trying to collect them all. But you see 2 Earthworms here digging at the same time. All right, and the last one for this video is Fuecoco. Fuecoco is basically an apple fire type. Just kidding, it's not really an apple. It does look like an apple, and it's eating an apple. But it basically, you know, it turns into a ghost fire type. It's basically the Charmander for Generation 9. Did I choose it? Yes, I did, because it turns into a fire ghost. But as you can see, it is grocery shopping with a human. And in the final evolution, which we already have added to our binder, you can see it is fully evolution, still collecting groceries with a human. So we will now sleeve all these cards up and put them in the binder and get to see them all together. All right, let's start to add these to the binder. For the first card, we're gonna add Sprigatito to the very first spot. As you can see, we have a few others already. Next, we have to add Fuecoco. So, as you can see, the first page is starting to come together. You see Fuecoco, and it's carrying the groceries, and Quaxley here with the same spot. I was wrong, we don't have the pre-evolution yet, but here is Spidops, which will go on the next page. All alone. Turn one page, we get to add Fido, or Fido. So not too many on that one. Then we get to add Tinkatuff to its line right here. So then you get to see the entire T of the Tinkaton, Tinkatuff, Tinkatink line. Looks real nice. Move on, we got Earthworm. Get to add right here, mini cards right here so far, but nothing else to add on those 2 pages. Turn one more page, we're gonna add the Iron Hands. There it is, close up. We'll add the Iron Hands to this page with a lot of the future ancient Pokemon. We finally get to add cards to this page. First we got Frigibax right there, and then we're gonna add the Gimme Ghoul. Unfortunately with this layout, you don't get to see these together, or like one, you know, this guy goes on top of this one. Might play around with it in the future. And then we have a few more of the big cards. The first one here is Roaring Moon, which will go next to Iron Valiant. See those 2 beautiful cards next to each other from Paradox and Temper Forces. Then we get to add the Koraidon, which is also right up here. So, very expensive looking page. Moving on to the next page, which is also pretty valuable. We get to add the Iron Boulder next to the Raging Bolt. And then lastly, we will add the Iron Crown. So with this, we've added 14 more cards. So far, we've added 43 out of the 120 total Pokemon for Generation 1. So as you can see, this is a very fun collection to build. I think it's a lot more fun than trying to complete a set such as Temporal Forces. You're just adding a bunch of very common cards to the very rare ones. This is all illustration arts, all essay arts, and it's super fun to do. So if you're interested, I'd go ahead and do it. It's just very pricey to do. And let me know what you think of my collection so far. We've done Generation 1 and we're working all the way through Generation 9, and we're slowly gonna add to the other generations once more sets get released. I don't do any VMAXs. I don't do any of the yellow border cards, and I don't do any of the Gigantamax or whatever you call. So please give me a like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.